Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I hope everyone out there is doing well and that you guys have been taking care of yourselves. From the title, you can see that today's video is a story time about a neighbor. I don't know what it's going to say, but it's definitely going to say story time. I think I put catfishing neighbor. Honey, let me get into it. Because this neighbor had a lot going on. Now, I don't know if I'm going to have a lesson in this story or not, but honey, it just came back to me, and I hadn't thought about this story in decades, and I do mean decades, because when I lived in this duplex apartment, my son was like, I lived there for 4 years, so since before he was 1, and so when I moved, he probably was about 4, and now he's 24. So it's been 2 decades. And honey, I ain't thought about this lady. I don't even remember what her name was, but I can vividly see her. So here it is. I remember so vividly her boyfriend, and her daughter. They came to view the apartment, and I guess to talk to the landlord, whatever you call, honey, landlord, whatever. And they came, honey, they was dressed in their Sunday best. They looked like a little family that had popped right out of Little House on the Prairie. So, I'm thinking, okay, I didn't think that much about it, but, they looked like they kind of had their stuff together. Well, honey, that was a catfish. Let's see what all happened. Let's see. First, they moved in with their roach infested furniture. I mean, I can't imagine how many roaches was living in that furniture. I had to fight roaches for I don't know how long. I feel like it was months. And it was right where because it was a duplex, so the living room and the kitchen is where the apartments connected. And I could not leave anything like by that living room wall. I had to spray my kitchen and my living room every single day until I fought off the roaches. And do you know that woman had the nerve to ask me one day, I can remember what prompted it, because she used to always want to come over to my apartment. Why? I don't know. Because I never was like extremely friendly or the type of person where it's like, oh, honey, just come over, you and your daughter or whatever. No, ma'am. Her daughter was older than Jason anyway. So, honey, you don't need to be over here. I don't need no new friends. So she was like, oh, you have roaches too? I'm like, yes, honey, I have roaches. The roaches that are coming from your apartment. The roaches that you brought over here with you. Oh, when I just think about it, I'm just like, man, why are you asking me, do I have roaches? You know you got roaches because you had roaches from wherever you came from. But anyway, I fought the roaches. Then, I don't know if she was on drugs. I can only imagine that maybe she was using some type of substances. And only because, the substance could have just been alcohol. Because I remember one day, I'm walking to my car. I couldn't see her. She was like around the corner, but I could smell the liquor coming off of her breath. And when I turned the corner, I'm like, my goodness, which I don't really care about her being drunk as long as it didn't affect me. You know what I'm saying? But it still was strange, especially after they came over here looking like Little House on the Prairie. And then, honey, not only was she drunk, and I guess maybe one day she must have needed some money. And I don't know what happened to the guy, because I don't really remember seeing him around. So I don't know if he just came as a prop on move-in day, on the day that they came to see the property owner, or what, because I don't ever remember really seeing him after that day. Honey, next thing I know, I don't remember the order of these events, but it all happened when she was there. She was switching up and down the street, baby, soliciting, you know what I mean. I said, is that my neighbor? I said, oh my goodness, she done went from bad to worse. And now that didn't really bother me either, because as long as it didn't affect me, you didn't bring nobody up by my apartment and nobody knocking on my door, I was fine with, I ain't gonna say I was fine with that, you know. I thought it was strange, of course. And I'm a little young mama, honey, because I was like 22. You know, I had to be 22, 23. So anyway, these are the things that really got on my nerves, besides them roaches. Now, the roaches part was like the worst part. So there were the roaches, and then her always trying to leave her daughter at my apartment. So I come home from work, and this duplex, baby, it didn't have no central air. It didn't have no central heat. So, like, you know, in the summertime, you have to have your windows open, your screen doors open, unless you're going to be baked in there and burn up. So, you know, of course, my screen door is open. Here she comes. I mean, it's not open, but, you know, she can see I'm in there or whatever the case may be. So right after work, here she comes. And, you know, it's so, I can't stand for nobody to call me right after work, come knocking on my door right after work. Lady, leave me alone. And, you know, I would be cordial and whatnot, but honey, she would be trying to leave her daughter. And I'm like, ma'am, take your daughter with you. No, you're not going to leave your daughter over here. Then she was feeding stray cats. I don't even ever remember seeing any cats prior to her moving in. She would be putting lunch meat and all kind of stuff on the porch. And the porch was like this small. It was just enough room for you to walk up the 3 stairs. If you turn to the right, that's my door. If you go straight, that's her door. It really wasn't no porch. It was like a little square. And she's sitting up here putting lunch meat and drawing all these stray cats, bees and bugs. I'm like, ma'am, what is going on? And then the last thing that I really remember about her is she used to steal my light bulbs. She would steal my light bulbs off the porch. Now, you know, in the wintertime, it gets dark really, really early. And I think I didn't even get off work until like 5 o'clock. And then I had to pick my son up from daycare. So when I'm coming home, it's dark. And then she would have done stole my light bulbs off the porch. And I can't even see. I remember one time I almost tumbled. I did miss the stair. Luckily, I didn't fall on my face, but I did hurt my knee because she had stole my light bulbs and it was pitch black outside. I was just like, this is ridiculous. So I guess she wasn't paying the rent either because she wasn't there that long. Anyway, I don't even know why I thought about that story, because I was like, Lord, why am I even thinking about this, you know, thinking about this apartment? I hadn't thought about it in ages. And the only thing I can say is we've come a long way, baby. We have come a long, long way. And the other thought that came to me was like, you'll be surprised what you can endure. Because I think about, you know, my life now and how I've been living for at least, what, more than 15 years, in the types of places I've been living and all that. And I'm like, you know what? And when I think sometimes about how I might feel like I have a problem or something is going on, and I'm like, girl, you survived living in, I don't gonna give the address, but it was on Bayard Street, honey. It was in the ghetto. And I don't know what it is. Like, I'll go and see an apartment, and when you go and see it, nobody's around. The sun is shining. It's quiet and peaceful. And then once you get in there, all the drama begins to unfold. But I'm like, you know, if I was able to make it through that, and the funny thing, because I was just thinking about it the other day, actually yesterday, and I said, you know, when I was in it, it didn't even seem like I was going through anything. It was just, I was just living life. You know, I was just being a little young mom with my little baby and my little toddler, and I was going to work, and I just lived life. I remember when I lived in that apartment, I sold Mary Kay, I sold Avon, you know, I went to church, I was on the dance ministry. I just went on with my life. You know, I don't ever remember, you know, it being an issue. It didn't become an issue until, baby, the crackheads, they knew I was going to work. So, child, they had broke into my daggone apartment. And by the 4th break-in, because it wasn't like they were breaking in, this was the part that was so rude, honey. The rudity of it all is they would break in, and they knew I wasn't coming back. So obviously, you know, they had been watching me or whatever the case may be. I don't even know. They must have been hiding in the bushes, baby, because I don't ever remember seeing like anybody. But then again, I was young, naive, and I probably just wasn't even paying attention to my surroundings. because, you know, I'd leave out early in the morning, I had to drop my son off at the daycare and, you know, then get to work. But they would break into my apartment, child. And they couldn't break in like regular people. They would break, you know, and just take whatever they gonna take and going about their business. Oh no, they would break in and be chilling in my apartment while I'm at work, making salads, cooking chili. Do you hear me? I'm like, these people probably was laying in my bed like the three bears. I was just like, now that was the only thing that really gave me some pause or some anxiety during that time period. I was like, I can't deal with this. I cannot deal with these folks breaking into my apartment. And I remember I had asked the property owner, you know, I was like, honey, you need to put some burglar bars on here and some burglar bar doors. I was like, I'm even willing to pay a higher rent because I know that, you know, she's going to incur some cost. And she never would do it. She never would do it. And so, you know what? The last straw was somebody had kicked in my back door, and then I was like, and then she didn't send anybody over there to fix it and give me a new door. So the hole was in the door with like a piece of plywood over it. And I was like, I can't be sleeping in here with my child, with my precious baby. Oh no. So I had to go. I found me an apartment and I left. And I was like, honey, I'm out. So anyway, I don't know necessarily what the purpose of this story time was, but for some reason it came back to me and it just stayed there. So I said, okay, maybe I need to share it, you know. So I've shared it. Hopefully, I don't know, get from it whatever you can, entertainment, any type of lesson. And until next time, take care. Bye.